Hi, I'm Guy Roth and I'm the Director of Northern Agriculture at the University of Sydney here in Narrabri, New South Wales. Well, digital technologies are part of our everyday life and becoming more important. So this project is really about demonstrating the application and research of digital technologies in agriculture in a real-world environment such as this farm. Well, here at Lara on our DigiFarm, we've got around about 150 sensors monitoring the farm 24/7 across the 2,000 hectares. We're specifically looking here at crops, pastures, livestock and the natural environment, which includes water and soil resources. So we're focusing on technologies that can monitor those aspects of the farm. So one aspect of the project has been looking at biodiversity. And so we've installed a network of sensors on a 1 kilometre spacing that have cameras, acoustic sensors that can hear the bats or listen to the bats and also the birds, and we've been monitoring them 24/7.
G'day, I'm John Bateman. I'm the DigiFarm Project Technical Officer. We've got the camera for detecting wildlife. We've got the Anabat, which is we use for detecting the bats in the forest up here, and we've got the bird detection. So we set this up on trails so that we can capture the animals walking through the forest on the tracks.
To match that, we've also been doing physical surveys, so we've got ground data to ground truth that data, and we've really found some interesting snippets, one being 15 species of bats. And why are we interested in bats? Because bats eat insects, and the number one pest of crops is Heliothus, and bats love them. So we have this trying to find the linkage, if you like, between the landscape and the farming business to try and better understand that. This is a mixed farm, so we don't only have crop, we also have cattle. And there is interest by livestock producers in digital ag, so we've been looking at automatic weighing of our cattle. We've got around about 180 head here at the moment, and we're using weighing systems that weigh the cattle every day, which we can then look at their weight gains on our phones and computers and monitor that 24/7. I've never met a farmer in northwest New South Wales that doesn't have an interest in wild pigs or feral pigs. And we've got plenty of them here, and we wanted to learn more about them. So what we did with the local land services is put some collars around the pigs, 10 pigs in particular. So they've got a great big GPS sensor on them. So now we can track the pigs all around the farm, and we've also collaborated with our neighbours. And we've been monitoring these pigs for over 12 months where they roam around the farm and around the district. Because there's this old adage in agriculture, if you can measure it, you can manage it. So we wanted to better understand the movement of these pigs, feral pigs, so that then we can implement better management strategies with our neighbours to control them. Well, the most limiting constraint to successful crops here in northwest New South Wales is soil moisture. And so we've also been looking at cover crops to see what the impact of cover crops are on soil moisture use for the following crop, and also how they may impact soil carbon. So we've had a number of trials like the one behind me, looking at both water use and soil carbon in cover crops, and we've been monitoring them with digital technologies, but also some simple technologies like tea bags, which allow us to monitor the soil resilience, if you like, over time. Digital agriculture is a broad church, and one aspect of that is automation. So we've developed a robot which can automatically move along, in our case, along our plots. We grow in essence, 20 to 30,000 research plots, and you can see in the image it's got a 2-metre wheel spacing, and this robot can then go along and either monitor the crops for their leaf area index or plant height, or on the back of it, it might have a little spray applicator which can spray green on brown and remotely detect weeds, for example, and spray the crop. So while our robot's only small on our specific wheel spacing for our research plots, I do see a great future in automation. We all know that labour is a critical challenge for agriculture, and I think if we fast forward, we're going to see tremendous change over the next 10 years in the automation of machinery. A couple of things we've learned about digital ag tech is, one, it's very complex, and there are lots of providers and lots of competing interests. And it's the old story, garbage in, garbage out. And so That's part of this role of this project, has been to really to field test and ground truth some of the technologies. So my advice to any farmer would be to obviously do your research. Cheapest is not necessarily the best, and you're going to need help. Like if you were the captain of Apollo 11 and the engine stopped running. Houston, we've got a problem, and you want to get on the phone and you want someone at the other end right now, not in 3 weeks' time. And I think people need to factor that in when they think about purchasing some of these technologies. Who's going to help them? DigiFarm's funded by the Australian Government's National Landcare Program through its Smarter Farming Partner Initiative and the University of Sydney. We are partnering with a number of private sector and government organisations in this demonstration of digital technologies, because both sectors are very important to the application of digital technologies in agriculture.